China and India, two Asian giants, are at a crossroads. They are the world's most populous nations and fastest-growing major economies. Their relationship is complex, marked by both cooperation and competition. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for deciphering the future of Asia and the world. For centuries, these civilizations coexisted, bound by cultural and economic ties. The ancient Silk Road facilitated trade and exchange of ideas. However, the 20th century brought new challenges, including border disputes and ideological differences. Today, the relationship is marked by a delicate balancing act. They collaborate on global issues like climate change and trade, yet they are also strategic rivals, vying for influence in Asia and beyond. The stakes are high. The decisions made in Beijing and New Delhi will shape the geopolitical landscape for decades to come. China and India share a long and intricate history. The ancient Silk Road served as a conduit for trade and cultural exchange, fostering connections between the two civilizations. Buddhism, originating in India, spread to China, leaving an enduring mark on its culture and philosophy. The arrival of European colonialism in Asia disrupted this historical balance. Both nations experienced the bitterness of subjugation under Western powers. The shared experience of colonialism fostered a sense of solidarity, albeit short-lived. The mid-20th century witnessed the rise of both nations as independent powers. However, this period also saw the emergence of new tensions. The 1962 border war cast a long shadow over the relationship. Despite efforts to normalize ties, mistrust and suspicion lingered. The legacy of history continues to influence the present. Understanding the historical context is crucial for comprehending the complexities of Sino-Indian relations. At the heart of the China-India rivalry lies the unresolved border issue. The Himalayan frontier, stretching over 2,000 miles, remains a point of contention. The 1962 war, sparked by territorial disputes, resulted in a humiliating defeat for India. In recent years, tensions have flared up again. Both sides have accused each other of incursions and provocations along the line of actual control, the de facto border. The Galwan Valley clash in 2020, resulting in casualties on both sides, highlighted the fragility of peace. The border dispute has fueled a military build-up on both sides. China has rapidly modernized its armed forces, investing heavily in its navy and air force. India too has embarked on an ambitious military modernization program, seeking to bridge the gap with China. The militarization of the Himalayas has raised concerns about the risk of accidental escalation. The lack of clarity along the line of actual control increases the potential for miscalculation and conflict. Beyond the military realm, China and India are engaged in intense economic competition. Both countries are economic powerhouses with rapidly growing economies. China, the world's second-largest economy, has emerged as a global manufacturing hub. India, with its burgeoning middle class and youthful population, is rapidly catching up. The two countries compete for resources, markets, and investment. They are also vying for influence in regional and global economic institutions. However, amidst this competition, there are also opportunities for collaboration. China and India are major trading partners. Chinese companies are investing heavily in India's infrastructure and technology sectors. Both countries recognize the benefits of economic interdependence. They have cooperated on initiatives like the BRICS grouping, seeking to reform the global financial order. Section 5, the Belt and Road Initiative, a bridge too far. China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, a massive infrastructure project, has emerged as a key point of contention. The BRI aims to connect China to Asia, Africa and Europe through a network of roads, railways and ports. India views the BRI with suspicion, seeing it as a tool for Chinese expansionism. It has refused to participate in the initiative, citing concerns about sovereignty and transparency. One particular bone of contention is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, a key component of the BRI. The CPEC passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, a disputed territory claimed by India. India sees the CPEC as a violation of its sovereignty and a threat to its security. The BRI has become a symbol of the geopolitical rivalry between China and India. Section 6. Diplomatic maneuvering seeking global influence. Beyond their bilateral relationship, China and India are vying for influence on the global stage. Both countries aspire to be leading powers in the 21st century. China, with its growing economic and military might, is already a major player in international affairs. India, too, is seeking to enhance its global stature. It has been actively engaging in multilateral forums like the United Nations and the G20, advocating for a multipolar world order. Both countries are using diplomacy to advance their interests and build strategic partnerships. China has been strengthening ties with countries in its neighborhood, including Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal. India, on the other hand, has been forging closer relations with the United States, Japan, Australia, forming a strategic alliance known as the Quad. Section 7. The Quad and Beyond Strategic Partnerships and Alliances. The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or the Quad, comprising the United States, Japan, Australia, and India, has emerged as a key counterweight to China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific region. The Quad, initially formed in 2007, was revived in 2017 amidst growing concerns about China's assertive behavior in the South China Sea and its growing military might. The Quad members have been conducting joint naval exercises and sharing intelligence, signaling their resolve to counter China's growing influence. China views the Quad with suspicion, seeing it as an attempt to contain its rise. It has accused the Quad of being a mini-NATO aimed at undermining its legitimate security interests. The emergence of the Quad highlights the shifting geopolitical landscape in the Indo-Pacific region. It reflects the growing convergence of interest between democratic powers concerned about China's growing assertiveness. Section 8. The Nuclear Dimension. A delicate balance of terror. Adding another layer of complexity to the China-India rivalry is the nuclear dimension. Both countries are nuclear-armed states possessing a formidable arsenal of nuclear weapons. China became a nuclear power in 1964, followed by India in 1974. The nuclear tests conducted by both countries raised concerns about an arms race in Asia. However, despite their rivalry, China and India have maintained a policy of no first use of nuclear weapons. They have also engaged in dialogues to enhance nuclear confidence-building measures. The nuclear dimension adds a sobering element to the relationship. It underscores the need for restraint and responsible behavior to prevent a catastrophic conflict. Section 9. The Future of Asia, Cooperation or Conflict. The future of Asia hinges on the trajectory of China-India relations. Will they be able to manage their differences and find common ground, or will their rivalry escalate into conflict? The path ahead is fraught with challenges. The unresolved border issue, the military buildup, and the geopolitical competition all pose risks to stability. However, there are also opportunities for cooperation. Both countries recognize the importance of economic interdependence. They are both members of multilateral organizations like the G20 and the BRICS, providing platforms for dialogue and cooperation. The choice between cooperation and conflict will depend on the decisions made in Beijing and New Delhi. If they prioritize dialogue, diplomacy, and mutual respect, they can build a more stable and prosperous Asia. Section 10. Conclusion: Navigating a Complex Relationship. The China-India relationship is one of the most consequential in the world. It is a complex and multifaceted relationship, characterized by both competition and cooperation. The two Asian giants are bound together by history, geography, and economics. Yet they are also divided by strategic rivalry, unresolved disputes, and geopolitical ambitions. Navigating this complex relationship will require statesmanship, pragmatism, and a willingness to find common ground. The decisions made in Beijing and New Delhi will shape the destiny of Asia and the world for decades to come. The world watches with bated breath as these two giants chart their course. The outcome of their delicate dance will determine the future of the Asian century.